There have been 14 quarterbacks to win a Super Bowl. Only one has been traded before he was 30, which is yourself. Yet you seem to know that this was all going to be inevitable.
Well, I felt it coming the last about a year and a half. You know, they were unhappy with me for some reason or the other, and you know, I was prepared for it. I felt it really coming on to start a training camp. You know, I knew I wasn't getting a fair shot. No matter what I did, I was not going to be the starter here. So I'm glad things worked out the way they did.
You don't think you could have won a job?
Didn't matter what I did, and I felt I was having a good camp. I got one series last week in the game, and I made the most of it. You know, it took 11 minutes before I got off the field, so it really didn't matter.
You're a proven winner. You're a proven winner, fearless leader. I mean, the kind of guy who walked into a huddle with a lacerated kidney to inspire his teammates. Yet, where did you and Ditka not see eye to eye?
Well, I think it started back in '86. I hurt my shoulder the first game of the year. I should have never played again before I got it fixed. I kept trying to play throughout the year, and some days it would feel okay, some days it wouldn't. And I don't think they believed I was hurt. I mean, he actually told me that to my face. He thought I was faking. So I think our relationship started deteriorating at that point.
What happened, though, that you guys didn't even talk during training camp? That surprised some people, at least.
Not if you know Mike Ditka, doesn't. He doesn't really talk to you unless he's got something to say. And most of the things that were said were fairly negative, so I didn't really have anything to say to him.
Yet, after Super Bowl 20, he went so far as to say that you should have gotten the MVP ahead of Richard Dent. Why would he want to trade a guy who's a Super Bowl winning quarterback?
Well, he's got his own ideas, and you know, he told me they were going in a different direction and they wanted somebody else, so you know, I can live with that. And I feel I got a lot of good years left, and it'd be nice to go somewhere where you're appreciated. I'm not bitter. In fact, I wanted out myself. You know, I saw this coming. What was funny is the day I got home from Platteville on Thursday, I talked to my attorney and I asked him to get something done. You know, I'm not going to play here, and I want to get traded. And actually, the deal was in the works that night. So, not from us. They were already discussing it. So I got a call the next morning, said I was traded. I was pretty happy.
Steve Zucker, your attorney, mentioned that you wanted to go to San Diego. Why would you want to go into a situation where they're rebuilding and you've got an unproven offensive line where you could take a lot of punishment?
Well, the big reason was Ted Tollner. I worked with Ted Tollner in college. I know the type of coach he is, the type of person he is, and you know, if you're going to get traded, why not to San Diego? The weather's great. I've always played well in that stadium. You know, it just seemed like a good situation to go to. You know, it's easy to go to a winner, but go to a team that's struggling and see if you can do something. It's a big challenge.
I think the expectation of the Bears is very high, which is great, and I like great things to be expected. That's what it's all about. You know, don't give me a crutch and all these things. Just give me a chance.
For Edward McCaskey and his Bear family, Chicago's 70th season seemed another bright prospect. Throughout the 80s, they had rolled to 5 straight division titles and a world championship. In compiling a 42-17 record under Mike Ditka, they reigned atop the NFC Central for an incredible 86 straight weeks. But last season, somehow, the Bears lost their sense of invincibility, and 6 straight games down the stretch. The Hunters became the hunted, as 1989 was to be endured rather than celebrated.
In the past, it never happened. If the game was close, we found a way to win. We got some breaks, and we won. And so people never questioned them. So I don't think this team was a whole lot different from the teams in the past.
We're just going to have to go out and just really play Bear football, and that's what it's going to come down to.
The wounds were many and deep, but as the legend goes, when you confront a wounded bear, you'd better beware, because the most ferocious creature in the wild is indeed a wounded bear. A Chicago trademark is a lightning start. Fast from the gate, quick to the top. 1989 was no exception. Defending AFC champion Cincinnati was first to fall.
Tomczak looking over the defense, takes the snap. He's back to throw. He throws it over the top. Touchdown! Gentry in motion to the right side. Snap to Tomczak. Steps up, takes it himself. Tomczak to the 10 to the 5. Touchdown!
The Bears won their sixth straight opener, 17-14, then blew away Minnesota. The Vikings were crushed, 38-7, behind 4 interceptions and 4 touchdowns in the final 11 minutes.
First down, Bears. Here's the handoff. Anderson to slant to the right side. Touchdown! Wilson in the pocket. Heath for left side. Thornton out of the eye. Third down. Toss to Mark Green. Sweeping left. First down. Touchdown. He's going to go all the way to the 10 to the 5. Touchdown! Icing on the cake. It is 37-7.
Against the overmatched Lions, the Bears made it 3 in a row with a dominant 47-point performance.
Breaks through the 50 down the left side. 45-40. He's going all the way to the 20. 10, 5. Touchdown! Neil Anderson. 53 yards.
Chicago scored on 9 of 12 possessions, amassed 542 yards, and beat Detroit for the 10th straight time. Against the Eagles on Monday night, the Bears ran when Philadelphia expected pass, and passed when the run seemed logical. It was a shell game that befuddled the Birds play after play.
First and goal inside the 2-yard line. Tomczak rolling left. He pops the right side of the end zone. Touchdown! Matsui.
Chicago outthought their opponent and outhit them. And for millions who'd hoped to see Randall Cunningham run and gun, his running was backwards and his hardest throws were in disgust. In the end, Neil Anderson and Player of the Week Mike Tomczak spearheaded a convincing 27-13 victory.
Tomczak back to throw off play action. Wings it out right side. Jim Thornton up the 20, cutting right down the sideline. 15, 10 to the 5. Touchdown!
The Bears were winning as a team.
It takes a lot of character to be a good team. It doesn't take a whole lot of character to be a good player. You know, one player can be outstanding, but to put it all together and work for the common good. I guess my high school coach, he used to spell character G-U-T-S, guts. And whatever that entails to you is what it is. To me, character is being willing to start something and finish it.
In a game that weeds out the weak and rewards the strong, Chicago's offensive line, anchored by All-Pro Jay Hilgenberg, is a testimony to professionalism. For 100 consecutive games, Hilgenberg has started every play, and guards like Tom Thayer, number 57, have finished them off. Number 62, Mark Bortz, turned the corner with a resolute mind and a lowered shoulder. For 7 years, Twin Towers' Jim Covert and Keith Van Horn have stood tall as bookends of a veteran line whose collective game face mirrors that of Chicago's crusty defenders.
The way we play defense is from an offensive point of view. In other words, we are an attacking defense. The majority of the time when we play explosively, we force things to happen. In other words, we are going to basically dictate what an offense can and cannot do.
For For 7 straight Pro Bowl years, Mike Singletary has been doing the dictating, and there's nothing he cannot do. He led the team in tackles and started every game. Number 50 was the clenched fist of the defense. A defense that lost its soul, venerable Dan Hampton, after 4 undefeated weeks. Hampton gives new meaning to the phrase wounded bear, as each knee has now been operated on 5 times. He had 2 sacks against the Bengals in the opener, and his loss was a deep cut, to be sure. But other veterans rushed in to help fill the void. One was rangy Richard Dent, Chicago's sack machine, who in 1989 recorded his 82nd, the most in club history. Texan Steve McMichael was one of only 2 defenders to start every game and was second in sacks and tackles. For a month, William Perry helped push the pile back, but without their wisest warrior, big number 99, Ditka's young defenders would have to grow up in a hurry. After 4 wins came 3 defeats. The Bears were moonwalking, doing the dance that gives the appearance of moving ahead when they were really sliding in reverse. They needed a new step, so Richard Dent did some slam dancing against the Rams.
Slot to the left side, 2nd and 10, Rams at the 19. Anderson wide to the right now as he moves in motion. And here's the give. Oh, he's covered on the play by Richard Dent. Belt was hammered on the play. It was vicious. My goodness.
What Dent unleashed, the youngsters finished as Donnell Wolford and Marcus Paul smothered Los Angeles, and Jim Harbaugh stepped in to lead a 20-10 win.
Down and 6, and Harbaugh loves the left side for Davis. Over the shoulder, catch is made of the 5 to the end zone. No, they're going to roll him down. Here we go. Harbaugh takes, gives to Mustard, lunges forward up the middle. Touchdown! On a 2nd and 3rd effort, Brad Mustard got it done.
With competition tougher, the demands are greater. To retool, to stay young, to keep winning.
My job is to try to put the best football team out there that I can. When teams get old, as a group, they no longer win. And you can't let that happen. You must keep infusing new talent in there. And I don't care if a guy's all pro in 85. He may not be playing in 87 anymore because those talents diminish. And if they diminish enough in 2 years, you got to replace them. So that's what we try to do.
For 10 years, Matsui came to work with hard hat in hand. Nearly 3,000 yards and 25 touchdowns later, Sui is retiring, leaving a legacy for Mike Tomczak and younger Bears to emulate. Tomczak started 11 games last season and threw for over 2,000 yards, a career high. He stayed in the pocket and took the hit, then exacted his revenge on the very next play. Tomczak played within himself and fired 16 touchdown passes. Jim Harbaugh was a bit more fancy-free.
Harbaugh, deep drop, steps up, under pressure, flushed out of the pocket, rolling right. Harbaugh's going to take it himself to the 20, to the 15. He's to the 10, cutting right to the 5, to the end zone, touchdown!
Harbaugh set a Bears single-season record by completing over 62% of his passes. Not every one, however, as precisely as it was drawn up. Tomczak and Harbaugh, Chicago's Big Two from the Big Ten. Different in approach, but both with the same aim: to get the ball into the hands of Wendell Davis, who has caught passes in 11 straight, and Ron Morris, another young weapon counted on for next year. 1989 was a terrific year for Dennis Gentry. He set a team record in career kickoff yards, led them with 667 receiving yards, ran the ball, and turned in Chicago's longest play from scrimmage.
Tomczak with time, steps up. He's going to scramble. No. Pop fly to the right side. Gentry is out there. He's got 25, 30. He's going all the way. Touchdown, Ryan Gentry!
If youth must be served, then it is served well at tight end. Number 80 Jim Thornton and Cap Botho play that position for Hall of Famer Mike Ditka. Nothing more need be said. Brad Muster, a tailback at Stanford and fullback in Chicago, is making the transition and coming of age. He's a raging bull who wants the ball, and 8 times last year he rammed it in or soft-handed a pass for a touchdown, as was the case in a 20-0 win over Pittsburgh.
Slot to the left side of the wide receivers. Here comes McKinnon to motion to the near side. Harbaugh pulls back from center, rushes on. He has time now, floats it over the right side. Muster in the clear. 15 to the 10 to the 5. Touchdown!
A pair of Lemuel Stenson interceptions underscored the shutout, and his hits echoed throughout the year. Of 26 defensive players, 23 started at one time or another. But while continuity was lost, David Tate, Vesti Jackson, and Sean Gale filled the ranks, manned the guns, and kept firing. Outside linebackers number 51 Jim Morrissey and Ron Rivera number 59 raised their level of play and lowered the boom. Fearing Chicago's defense might be losing its bite, the Bears drafted John Roper and 2 other rookies to keep them lean and mean. He was nabbed in the 2nd round and took over at outside linebacker for the final 10 games. Roper joined the Bears' 2 first-round picks on the all-rookie team. Trace Armstrong charged headlong into Herschel Walker and Barry Sanders and finished 3rd in sacks. Donnell Wolford, number 21, overcame 3 separate injuries and made an immediate impact. Roper, Armstrong, and Wolford man a new young battalion whose commander sees a bright future on battlegrounds to come.
We're still the Bears, but we're the young Bears. We're coming. We haven't really put all the pieces in place yet, but they're coming.
Barking out
It was the best of times and the worst of times as Chicago discovered that the line that separates victory from defeat can be excruciatingly thin.
Throws it back again. Shot for a touchdown! Penalty marker is down. There's a penalty marker down back near the 20. And we shall see in a moment, but this will go down in the books. There's another.
It's a fraction of an inch either way.
After further review, we have a reversal. Touchdown!
The sword of defeat was thrust deep into Mike Ditka in 1989. But while he bled the most, he healed the fastest.
I know he's taking it tough. I've taken it tough, and there's some other guys on the team that have taken it tough. So I know for him, it's been one of the most frustrating things that he's ever had to deal with.
You know, he's dealt with some tough situations before, and I think that's basically the character makeup of this entire football team. One way or another, you know, we simply come to play and we rise to the occasion.
2nd down.
In seasons past, the Bears righted themselves and punched their way to the playoffs.
Rainbows it deep down the right side, going for Ron Moore. Yes. Leaping grab, 15, 10, 5, touchdown!
In Week 11, the Bears were being overrun by Tampa Bay when Mike Tomczak fired 3 touchdown passes in 3 minutes of the final quarter.
Feeds it over the left side for Davis, over the top of the touchdown! Sensational grab!
Rising to the challenge, launching the playoff push. the Bears surged ahead and took a once impossible lead.
Slot to the right side. Wendell Davis is wide to the left. Snap to Mike Tomczak. Rushes on. Tomczak pop fly to the left side. Going for Wendell Davis. Over the shoulder.
Another great catch. Great throwing. Great catch by Wendell Davis.
3rd down and 4. Who would have thought they'd go up on top?
In the final seconds, the playoff express derailed.
Igwe Moore with the arm extended, waiting for the snap. Here it is. The placement made. The kick is up, and it is good. So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have defeated the Chicago Bears 32-31.
They crashed to the mat, and there would be no bell to save them. The sun shined on teams routinely routed in the past, and the magic that only Chicago seemed to possess now belonged to others. 6 straight season-ending losses wounded even the proudest of Bears. But throughout it all, one lone kicker was in the midst of a streak of a far different nature. Kevin Butler had nailed 23 straight attempts as he composed a masterpiece, previously unheard of in NFL history.
Tomczak arm extended, waiting for the snap. Here it is. The placement made. The kick by Butler. It is up, and it is good. Kevin Butler has set the NFL record for consecutive field goals, his 24th in a row.
While Butler was a model of consistency, Neil Anderson was simply a model of what it is to be a Bear.
To the 45-50, left sideline. He's gone. Anderson to the 40, to the 30, to the 25-20. He's going all the way. 60 yards for Neil Anderson.
I can take it the distance. I can score from, I think, anywhere on the field. I have enough speed to, to get to the end zone. I think that's my #1 strength.
Neil Anderson plays with pride and intensity. He puts on the pads with purpose and treats each carry as a new opportunity to make his mark. He rushed for nearly 1,300 yards, caught 50 passes, scored 15 touchdowns, and earned All-Pro honors. His touchdowns were effortless or spectacular, nothing in between.
Jim Harbaugh looks downfield, lofts the right side of the end zone for Anderson. Over the shoulder catch, touchdown!
He's both dedicated and dynamic, and embodies what makes teams winners: resolve, vision, and honor. Qualities that Mike Ditka demands.
I want him to understand what it is to be a Bear, what it is to wear that uniform, and I want there to be a lot of pride involved. That's all I ask him, to have a little pride, because the jersey's special to me. But I want him to feel that that's something special, put that blue jersey on, go out there and play for the Bears. If they don't feel that way, I'd rather not have them.
Being a Bear really means a lot to me. I mean, I take it to heart. Playing for the Bears is something that I'm really proud of. I get excited about it when I talk about it. And being a Bear, even the nature of a real Bear, you wound him, and you better watch out. You better move camp.
You got to have a certain love for the game and a certain amount of respect for your teammates to want to go out each play and play it to its fullest.
I think individually, each player's got to take this game and say, hey, I'm going to play every play as if it were my last game as a professional athlete. I'm going to play every play like it's going to get us into the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl. And I'm going to play every play, just throw my whole body all over the field. Just get completely radical out there and just go crazy. I mean, that's what it's going to take.
Like the Granges, the Nagurskis, the Hallises, the Butkuses, and the Paytons, the honor roll of legendary Bears, these new Bears must draw on their proud past to forge a bright future. Yet Chicago will not back into tomorrow with one eye on yesterday. They were wounded in 1989, but the 90s are here and now. A new decade and a new opportunity to rule once more.